After the fall of Jurassic World, InGen and Dr. Wu required a place far away from prying eyes to further conduct their experiments. They eventually decided to create a research base in the frigid mountains of northern Canada. This had the secondary benefit of creating an optimal environment for testing the limits of the dinosaurs being created. While very valuable information was gained, the project was bleeding money. In order to bring a profit, it was opened up as a black market destination for the mega-rich. A variety of tropical biodomes made the frigid wasteland into a novelty destination, and the facility has been growing ever since. Hello, wanderers of the internet, it's PaleoJohnathan, and it's been a long time. Did you miss me? Probably not. I hope you don't. If you do, it's kinda weird, actually. You know what? Actually, it's fine. Whatever. You saw the intro, and you saw the title. Today, I'm doing a tour of my first ever modded park in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Or second ever, but that one hit the object limit and will never see the big screen, or the small screen. Most people watch on their phones. Regardless, might as well get right into this tour. I mean, yeah, you heard the story, hopefully. I haven't edited that together yet, so maybe I trashed it. So I have basically all of the major mods installed. Kyodenic, ooh, thank you. So cool, makes the game so fun. You can have plenty of fun without it. It opens up opportunities for me, personally. Sorry for those on console, but, you know, I can act like I care, but honestly, I don't. Sorry. So, whatever. The other major mod that I have, and why I'm flying around in circles in the middle of nowhere, is one that gives Lux skins to all the dinosaurs. I thought this was just a fun touch for it, but I think that if I were, you can go without that one pretty easily. So without further ado, let's head back over to the entrance and give this a bit of a tour. So I don't really know how I should go about this. I think maybe a good idea is I'll show off, because the thing about this is that it's split between, like, research facility stuff and, like, tourist trap stuff. So I think I'll start with, like, the research facility stuff on the outside, and then I'll go on the inside of the domes. And I'll kind of, like, jump around. So there are a few little, like, I think of these as, like, security outposts that would, like, look out for helicopters coming through or whatever, and would, like, have antennas and stuff on them. We have another one over here. I'll just zoom in on it, since I don't think we really need to go all the way over there. They're just pretty basic. I thought they added a little bit of flavor to the design. Oh yeah, by the way, of course, this is on the Oregon map, but thanks to the power of expanded maps, I was able to make most of it really snowy, other than this line here and this mountain. But everywhere else is entirely snow, which I think looks really nice. And for those of you who aren't modded, they should be adding a map pretty soon, according to trailers, that is going to be snowy all the time. That's mostly guesswork, but from what we've seen, unless they, like, purposefully took a photo to confuse people, they might be adding it. So we'll see how that goes. So we have a variety of, like, operation stuff on the outsides of these biodomes. We have this entranceway here made out of, like, a chimera of multiple buildings. But you'd, like, go up there, and it's like a tunnel where they would, like, take your tickets and stuff like that. And you could send your rich, spoiled kids off to go mess around here in the petting zoo, which we'll get to later. And the adults themselves can go off to the resort in there. There's a variety of, I use basically every building available that looked like utilitarian to place around the edges. Power stations, power lines, construction equipment, it is how it is. You gotta make do with the fact that, the aviaries themselves are pretty basic and boring. So, I think it added a lot of, like, even if it really doesn't make much sense and is mostly just random, I think it adds a lot of, like, detail that I think makes it look nicer. Another thing worth showing off I used, here is Lagoon viewing galleries, but over the entire building I use multiple different things. Viewing galleries, since they have a flat end, you can do it like back to back and make like a really cool tunnel looking thing. So that's how I connected between the different buildings. But yeah, we have multiple different domes connected by tunnels, and in the center we have like an more like open operations facilities where like people would be camped out, not camped out, like huddled out during the winter. There is a place there they'd be camped out. We'll get to that in a moment. But like, you know, people with coats wandering around, running the facilities, so on and so forth. There are 2 outdoor exhibits connected. I'll show those when we get to the areas inside that connect to them, though. And then over here we have, this is like an open tundra area full of like a lot of different research centers and also a long gyrosphere tour. I'll actually also save that for later since it's like a guest-facing attraction. So then, without further ado, we should hop on in and take a look, I imagine. So if you were to like climb up the tunnel, they'd take your tickets. If you want to, you can send your idiot children off over here, and they'd go through here, and they'd emerge in this petting zoo. And here there are very tropical, very planty, lots of tables, restrooms, very small dinosaurs, that, you know, cute dinosaurs. Here, I'll show them off. It is the point of the video. We have Dryosaurus here. We got the Minmies with like a cool, I can't really get down low because of the fact we're in an aviary with the camera, but if you can see one, they have like pink on the belly and gray on top, and sorry, I thought it was sped up, and it looks kind of like a hippo to me, so I thought that was kind of neat, so I went with that for the skin. And last but not least, obviously the most like necessary for a petting zoo in the game, obviously, if I can find them somewhere in here, should be Homalocephales. What the heck? Where are you? I'm going to cheat real quick. Hold on. I guess they're just hiding because they're so small. Makes sense. But yes, there's Homalocephales. There we go. Yeah, Homalocephales are always cute. And is it really like a petting zoo without them? We also have these tents here, which I envision more as like informational things where like an ecologist would like teach kids stuff like that. So across in the other side, the tunnel leads down into the visitor center, out of which they can emerge, and they will find themselves in like the guest reception area. It would be all nice and warm and humid, and would give them the idea of like what it's like here. There'd be lots of like shops and stuff in the visitor center. You know, of course, restrooms, shelters, seating around a nice like decorative pond, a shop here, souvenirs, I imagine. And then in here we have the first exhibit, and one of our few interior ones. And here we have a single blue Sinoceratops. And I imagine him having like some sort of name. In fact, I'll name him right now. He will be Old Bob. Yes, Old Bob. And this is his little hole that he lives in, using the power of expanded terrain tools. And then there's like buildings sticking out. There's lots of towers that stick out. I think of them more as like service towers and like dinosaur viewing things, because there aren't dinosaurs to view. So then what looks like a shelter is actually the tunnel into the next exhibit over. There's this tower here, which I would once again be like, this is like a watchtower, and it looks in on this area over here, previously mentioned. Over here, for some reason, this is the only one with guests in it. I have no clue why. There are arrival points everywhere and paths connecting everything, but the guests only are here. Which, to be honest, if I were in the park, this would be the place I would be too, because this place is a really pretty, like, botanical garden type, with a whole lot of plants, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, emerging from the building, There are signs here. I can't get low enough to actually show them to you, but they're like a cool little design for a like Velociraptor thing. I don't know. There's Velociraptors here. This is all surrounding a Velociraptor exhibit. So there's like towers that look in on it. There's a management building here. There is obviously these botanical gardens, which I think turned out really gorgeous. I really like the expanded scenery mod. Now here on this like cave, there's this cave-looking thing. There's this Velociraptor viewing experience in which I'm gonna have to cheat again to go see it. There it is. It is in fact looking into a cave, and this is using, I think, the most powerful mod in the game right now, which is JWE Toolbox, which allows you to like move objects three-dimensionally, such as rocks, in order to make a cave. And another good example of that is right here. And here we have a lagoon, but it's not like a lagoon for marine reptiles. No, it's instead a lagoon for people, in that it is hotels lowered into the ground to act as non-functional swimming pools. Nobody brought their swim trunks, so but they are there. Is this person okay? What's so intriguing about the wall? Huh. Well, regardless, you know, there's more plants around. Over here, okay. I think this is a good time to check out the Velociraptor thing. So we have this right here is a science center, and it emerges into the Velociraptor exhibit, and has foliage and rocks surrounding like the two different jutting out parts of it. And I like to think that this is like an hidden research center where they would like observe the Velociraptor's behavior. Obviously there's the cave over here. I think it looks really nice, especially like that looks really cool. Yes, it's a very snowy exhibit, and I went with tiger stripe raptors because I don't know, felt right. I can't wait for the Dominion update. That'll be very cool. Which, speaking of the Dominion update, and also, well, there's just a whole bunch of kind of just like filler stuff in the here that I can kind of just move through while I discuss it. So I really want to avoid spoilers for Dominion, and also have been quite busy. Hence me, you know, being gone for a while. But recently, I've got like a whole new burst of like, I want to show off the stuff that I've been making in the game recently. So I have pre-recorded a few videos as like, for, like, I'm gonna put them out while I am busy for a few days. I'm gonna be on vacation actually while Dominion comes out. So like, even if there weren't people in other countries that had seen it, there are also like, I will not be able to see it on release day unless I might actually be able to see it before, but that's a whole thing. So yeah, these next few videos are gonna like pre-recorded, and I might be able to do like minor adjustments depending on what you guys say in the comments. If you say anything, I've been away so long, the algorithm might have murked me. But yeah, I'm very excited for the DLC. That's as like far as I've gone in terms of like knowing what will be in the movie. I'm very excited to see the movie. I don't think it'll be good, but I think I'll like it. So, regardless, moving on. Here we have the next interesting thing in this like donut-shaped biodome, which is just a repurposed aviary, if you couldn't tell already. We have like the veterinarian area of a medical center. And yeah, I thought it would be neat to have like, you know, you wouldn't want to be like treating animals for frostbite in the frostbite, so I thought it would be interesting to have it like indoors, kind of. Now, it would be a pain to get them in here, but I mean, that's their problem, not mine. So we also have a luxury movie theater here. It's showing Jurassic World Dominion. Yes, early even. And then we have a few more buildings. This one here is just like a shelter and a viewing gallery. More just decorative stuff. Before going on to the next tunnel. And this tunnel also happens to have viewing galleries going out the side. And this viewing gallery goes into a very special exhibit, yes. So it has a live goat feeder, which I tend not to use. I just don't, like, zoos don't use it. It doesn't really make much sense. So unless it's, like, really a show, I don't typically use live goat feeders for sandbox parts. And it also has fire around it to attract in these guys. Scorpius Rex Luxes, thanks to the power of mods and paid DLC. And I think that, they definitely, being how they were frozen and all and how they interact with fire, I think that they'd be a good candidate for, like, what would be experimented on in an icy park. So I think that this exhibit is, there's a reason it's kind of like a centerpiece to the whole thing. And that's because I feel like it, kind of is to the idea, the story behind it. The, like, Scorpius Rex would be the main focus. And I think the exhibit turned out rather nice looking. I mean, I didn't really focus much on making the exhibits look good. I more so made sure the interiors were nice and creative and stuff. I've said this before, and I think it applies doubly now that I'm, like, working with mods. High-tier ideas, mid-tier construction. I have cool concepts. Like, I'm in the Evolution Square Discord server, and after I downloaded mods for the first time, in their, like, Jurassic World Evolution 2 chat, I have been, for the past couple days, like, spamming different concepts of stuff to do with modded ideas. And one of the videos I'm working on, and it's a pain in the neck to work on, is, like, 50, hopefully I can make it 50 modded park ideas, using, like, Kai's new mod specifically. And some of them are in this park right now, like these biodomes here. And there will be a whole lot more. I have a whole lot of cool ideas and stuff that I think will be really revolutionary for the modded community, hopefully. Or they've already thought of it, and I'm late to the party. Regardless, this way we have an aviary, and this way we have a lagoon. I was kind of running out of ideas for what to put in it, so I decided to... And yes, it's an aviary in the aviary. I'll get to it when I get to it. Yes, here we have a lagoon. And I went for a nice, like, octagon shape using, old tricks. Here we have our, like, lagoon hatchery. And I've always thought they looked really cool. They are very cool. They're very cool. Very cool design. But yeah, then there's, like, paths going along it with seating to look in on it. And yes, I am aware of the fact... By the way, I'm not doing this tour in first-person mode on account of the fact that I couldn't do it in first-person mode. Because, you can't walk through the tunnels. And also because I think this is a park that I definitely designed for the air to be seen from. I mean, regardless, though, yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic. There's this cool, like, merging of a science center and a thing that I quite like. Other than that, basic lagoon. I know it's really, really small, but it's only ichthyosaurs. So, I mean, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Honestly, if they can't figure out how to live in there, then they can go hang out in the ice if they prefer that. It's rather harsh, but, I mean, that's a them problem. And then we have another tunnel. This one is rather short, and it heads into, yes, an aviary within the aviary. This one's a little more utilitarian than the other ones for the fact that, it's an aviary in the aviary. It's kind of hard to manage. So they have this building here that would, like, be an entry point to it. Imagine there's a door there. And it would, like, be where they would research them. And yes, so what I did for this aviary is I, like, sunk it into the ground so it would be below it, although the antenna still sticks out. And I think that looks really cool, actually. Like, I think I'll use this for just plain areas in the open world, because then you can actually, like... Shoot, I rotated. Because then you can actually, like, see from the ground level. Because whereas, like, normal areas, they have, like, the big concrete walls. But with these, like, you can actually, like, look in while you're walking around it. Very cool. Inside, we have some Gyrospheres, because I feel like they would work best inside a small area. That or Dimorphodon, and I'm kind of tired of Dimorphodons. I use them too much. Yeah, and then there's another cave. This one has fish in it. It's a nice, it's another, like, novelty thing. Like, you can't have a park without some pterosaurs, And then over here we have the queue line for the biggest attraction in the park. And once again, it's a shame there's no people, but there's not much I can do about it. And that would be the gyrospheres. And I think I'll go around actually ride in the gyrospheres first, and then I'll do a from above tour. But I'll drive, of course, because nobody has time for waiting on the gyrospheres. Shoot, I'm going to go in third person. That is, I am. Okay. The frame rate is rather low. Maybe this is a mistake. I'll go around for a little bit in the gyrosphere, though. So here, I really worked with, the Lux mods, and every dinosaur in here has Lux. As, I imagine this is, they used the Lux modification to, have them survive better out in the cold. And as such, only, the strongest managed to live out in this icy, hilly tundra here. You got Diplodocuses, Chilosauruses, Struviamimuses. I would say that they were, the toughest of the tough, but really they're the ones that had the coolest Lux patterns. Because the mod has, every single dinosaur has, the Rana and Chalcarana patterns as Lux. Which means that not all of them can be great. Because I think what they just did is they, copied their current patterns and added, the Lux textures on top. So it's whichever ones have, some patterns in the mod are really quite ugly. But others, like this Pachyrhinosaurus here, are absolutely gorgeous. Holy cow, man. Very beautiful. Very pretty. I don't intend to use the Lux thing in every park, by the way, because it takes away options for, normal skins. But there's another park coming up soon that I will also have Lux skins on for reasons that will make sense once I show off that park. Here we have our Jeeps driving around. Hello, Jeep. Looking around at stuff. There's an Edmontosaurus over there. Can't really see it. I'll hope we'll see a better view later. I think other than... There's also iguanodons in here, and that's every species. In this area. There's also a carnivore area, which I will get to momentarily. And then after that, I'll hop out of the gyrosphere. Absolutely sick drifting up and down the hills. There's a little watering hole. Of course, water necessary for life. As we know it. That's, yeah, it's expected, honestly. Kind of a boring trope. I'd love to see a park without water. It's a joke. And get through the hole. There we go. And in here we have our carnivore thing, and I ended up going with two, I don't know, lesser used of mine. My first thought was acros, because they are all chubby, and I think they would look great in the snow. But then its Lux pattern was absolute mediocre. It was mid. So instead we have a cohabitated exhibit between these Monolophosaurus. Can you tell that I'm trying to get my money's worth out of that painfully expensive DLC? I'm trying to get my money's worth out of that painfully expensive DLC. Regardless, there's also Albertosaurus in here somewhere, and this is where I'll hop out of the gyrosphere and I'll go show manually because far more convenient. Let's see, where are they at? The easiest way to find them is just to go up in the air and look for the shiny, but I can't quite see. There they are, traveling around in pairs. One has the blue skin and one has the pink one, and they are clipping through each other very hard. But they look very pretty, very nice. You know what? I'm gonna leave. I think that clipping like that's it's private business, and it's also totally on account of the fact that I put this weird whatever. Regardless. So taking a look back over to the other side, this has a whole lot of oh my goodness. I found where all the dinosaurs are. And it seems they're raiding this base camp here. We have another biodome, and this is, I imagine, Dr. Henry Wu's private laboratory. In the utmost comfort, close to the dinosaurs. He would live there while he was doing research in this facility. And I think these dinosaurs may be stuck back here. It's like a Venus flytrap, but instead of Venus fly being in it, there's just nothing. I'm gonna move on. That was a bad joke. Regardless, we have all sorts of beautiful, pretty dinosaurs. Gorgeous. I should probably have shown off the Edmontosaurus. Their patterns are always pretty, and they look like ridiculous. Ridiculous. I just bit my tooth. Oh, it feels awkward. They look quite gorgeous. Yes. So, here is an iguanodon. I can't really get into the forest to show you, but they have like a cool tiger pattern, or zebra, I guess, is a more fitting comparison. Ooh, nice shot there. And he goes back in the woods. Darn it. In addition, there's a few other, like, research spots around. Like, the first one would be this gate here, which would be, like, the management thing. This is where, they would feed the dinosaurs from and do, checkups at. There's also a, like, jeep area out here that has a road going through to there. And I think one of my favorite parts of the park, over here, I've skirted past it a few times because I wanted it to be like the last thing I showed. It's a little campground. I think it's so cute. I think it's adorable. So for those of you who do have the mods downloaded, how I went about making this, I mean, obviously the campsite stuff is pretty obvious and pretty self-explanatory. Now the fires are a little less so. What I did is, and these are pretty ugly, and I could definitely make them better, but honestly, this park took way longer than I expected it to. So, you know what? Regardless. I sunk multiple Jurassic Park torches into the ground, and as well as, like, the stick decoration into the ground, and stacked that on top of some rocks. Also sunk into the ground. I sunk everything in the ground, just different levels. And then I put aloe vera flowers from the expanded scenery mod also in the ground, to give the fire like a bit of shape from a distance. I think I could definitely do better, and I think I definitely will do better because I'm definitely revisiting this concept. I have one burnt out even, realistic. Very cool. So yeah. Oh shoot. That's the thing. That's it. That's the park. I'll do like one last big sweep and overview. I think that's just about every, major detail I included. As far as I know, that is worth showing. I'm dumb. I showed this off at the very beginning, but forgot to ever mention it. PaleoJohnathan showed this off in his own video. This is a helipad. Very cool. It's kind of ugly. Once again, I was at the very end, and I just could not. I'm sorry. I could not be made to make that look better. But you just flip that Jurassic Park helipad upside down, which means that it does have to be the Jurassic Park thing, which didn't make much sense since the Jurassic World entryway is right there. But yes, you can have them land on solid ground, and it looks rather nice. So yeah, that's basically the park. Thanks for watching, and thanks for just watching the channel in general. You mean a lot to me. Thank you. Bye-bye.